Extinction is supposed to be forever. Once an animal is gone, it's gone. That's just how nature works, right? Well, science has been quietly rewriting that rule. Researchers, geneticists, and conservationists around the world have been working on something that sounds like it came straight out of a science fiction movie, bringing extinct animals back to life. And the crazy part is, it's actually working. Some of these animals are already walking, swimming, and breathing again after being gone for years, decades, or even thousands of years. Today we're counting down 7 extinct animals that science brought back from the dead. And some of these stories are going to make your jaw drop. On number 1, we have the Pyrenean ibex. Let's start with the one that made history. The Pyrenean ibex was a wild mountain goat that lived in the Pyrenees Mountains between France and Spain. It was a beautiful, sturdy animal with large curved horns, and it had been living in those mountains for thousands of years. But due to hunting and disease, the population collapsed. The very last Pyrenean ibex, a female nicknamed Celia, died in January 2000 when a tree fell on her. Just like that, the species was gone. But here's the twist. Before Celia died, scientists had collected and preserved skin samples from her ear. And in 2003, a team of Spanish and French scientists used those samples to clone her. They implanted the cloned embryo into a domestic goat, and a baby Pyrenean ibex was born, the first animal in history to be brought back from extinction through cloning. Sadly, the baby only survived for about 7 minutes due to a lung defect. But the moment it took its first breath, history was made. Science had done the impossible, even if only for a few minutes. On number 2 comes the aurochs. The aurochs was the wild ancestor of modern domestic cattle. It was absolutely massive, standing nearly 6 feet tall at the shoulder and weighing up to 1,500 pounds. These animals once roamed across Europe, Asia, and North Africa in huge numbers, but centuries of hunting and habitat loss wiped them out. The last known aurochs died in Poland in 1627. But here's where modern science gets clever. Since domestic cattle are direct descendants of the aurochs, they still carry a lot of the original genetic material inside them. A project called the Taurus program has been selectively breeding specific cattle breeds that carry the strongest aurochs-like traits: the size, the horn shape, the build, the behavior. The result is an animal that looks and behaves remarkably like the original aurochs. They're not a perfect genetic copy, but they are roaming rewilded landscapes in Europe right now, filling the ecological role the aurochs once played. That is genuinely remarkable. On number 3, we will talk about the woolly mammoth. Okay, this is the one everyone is excited about. The woolly mammoth went extinct around 4,000 years ago, and scientists have been dreaming about bringing it back ever since Jurassic Park planted that idea in everyone's head. Well, a company called Colossal Biosciences is actually working on making it happen. They are using CRISPR gene editing technology, which is a tool that allows scientists to cut and rewrite DNA to insert woolly mammoth genes into Asian elephant DNA. The two species are closely related, sharing about 99.6% of their DNA. The goal isn't to create an exact woolly mammoth clone, but a cold-resistant elephant that looks and functions like one. As of their latest updates, Colossal has made significant progress, and they are targeting having a living creature within the next few years. Whether you think this is brilliant or terrifying, you cannot deny that it is extraordinary. On number 4 comes the Bucardo. Wait, didn't we already talk about the Pyrenean ibex? Yes, but the Bucardo deserves its own spotlight because it represents something slightly different. While the Pyrenean ibex was the species, the Bucardo was a specific subspecies native to the Cantabrian Mountains of Spain. Scientists have continued working on the cloning process that started with Celia. refining the techniques, improving the success rates, and learning from what went wrong the first time. The ongoing research around the bucardo has directly shaped how scientists approach de-extinction today. Every attempt teaches something new, and researchers are more confident than ever that a fully viable clone is within reach. The bucardo story isn't over, it's still being written. On number 5, we will discuss the gastric brooding frog. This one is genuinely one of the strangest and most fascinating animals on this entire list. The gastric brooding frog was a small Australian frog that had one of the most bizarre reproductive methods in the animal kingdom. The female would swallow her fertilized eggs, stop producing stomach acid completely, and literally grow her babies inside her stomach. When they were ready, she would give birth through her mouth. It sounds absolutely wild, but it was real. The species went extinct in the 1980s. Australian scientists at the Lazarus Project successfully created living embryos of the gastric brooding frog using preserved genetic material. The embryos survived for several days before stopping development, but the fact that they created living, dividing cells from an extinct species is a massive breakthrough. The research is ongoing, and scientists are getting closer to producing a fully developed frog. On number 6, we have the heath hen. The heath hen was a bird native to the eastern coast of North America. It was once so common that it was considered poor people's food in colonial times. But relentless hunting and habitat destruction wiped it out completely. The last heath hen, a male nicknamed Booming Ben, was seen in 1932. Scientists are now working on using genetic material from its closest living relative, the greater prairie chicken, to reconstruct the heath hen's genome and bring it back. The project is still in early stages, but it represents how seriously the scientific community is now taking de-extinction as a real, achievable goal. On number 7 is the thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger, saving the most exciting for last. The thylacine, commonly known as the Tasmanian tiger, was a striped, dog-like marsupial that lived in Australia and Tasmania. It was a top predator, and it looked like someone combined a dog, a tiger, and a kangaroo into one animal. The last known thylacine died in captivity in 1936, but a company called Colossal Biosciences, the same team working on the woolly mammoth, has announced a serious, well-funded project to bring the thylacine back using ancient DNA and gene editing technology. They have already successfully sequenced the thylacine genome, which is a critical first step. The scientific community is genuinely optimistic about this one. So there you have it. 7 animals that extinction couldn't hold forever. Science is moving faster than most people realize, and the line between gone forever and coming back is getting thinner every single year. Whether these projects excite you or make you a little nervous, one thing is certain: we are living in one of the most extraordinary moments in the history of science. The question is no longer whether we can bring extinct animals back. The question is, should we? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear where you stand on this one. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe, because we are just getting started.